I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign.
Okay, I'm not beating a dead horse. I promise I'm not. Okay? I don't think I am. I'm out here, I'm cleaning my boat. I'm doing some things. I'm trying to get ready. We got a tournament coming up. I'm getting some stuff out. And I have to walk by the old Garmin Livescope. And the elites are going on. You know, this Livescope thing has become this. It's been this most controversial thing in fishing. And I even made a video about it. I made a video about it, I guess a year ago. I didn't even really think much about it when I made it, and it went viral. And some people got it. Some people missed it a little bit. Others, like a lot of people on the internet, they see a title and they instantly pick a side, one way or the other, right? So it was either, you got two sides to this Livescope thing. It's either we ban it and it's the worst thing in fishing, or it's the best thing ever. When I made that video, I know I'm just coming about it now, and I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna get to the point. When I made the video, I look back at that video, I don't even have to watch it. I remember it all. I remember everything I said. A year later, I still feel the same way. I don't feel any different about it. A lot of guys thought I wanted to ban Livescope. I didn't say that. A lot of guys think a lot of different things about it. I think most people that have an opinion about it, well, let me take that back. I think a lot of people have an opinion about it, but don't really know much about it. They're not very informed about it. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. With all that being said, I'm not even going to get into that. What I will say is this. What I think some of these, I always put quotes on these pros because I just always do. I will always do that. I will never really fully understand what a pro is in fishing. But what I'll say about is when I hear about some of these pros, when they talk about Livescope, most of them, or the ones that like it, the problem I have with them is they're out of touch. They're out of touch with reality. And what I mean by that is I think at times people get that way. They get that way because it's hard to like look at the big picture. And the big picture, sometimes they miss. And here's what they miss. And here's what I think they're missing when they talk about this Livescope. What they're missing is the fact of when they make all these good claims about it, right? When they talk about how good it is and how fun it is and all these things, and how they do a lot of comparisons about like old technology, like, you know, you sure do like your brand new vehicle you're driving in. It's better than the, 1963 Chevy you used to drive, right? Now we have internet and all these things. We all get that part, okay? We all understand that part. I think what they're missing is this. It's not that people won't find this fun. It's not that if people use Livescope, 100%, I would say about 99% of them, if they went and used it for the first time with somebody, right? If they went out there and used it with somebody that knew what they were doing, okay, and they got to see it, I think they'd like it. I think they'd enjoy it. I think everything that they perceived about it would change in a moment, in one day, if they got to see how good it was, right? This thing's pretty awesome. It's pretty good. It's absolutely fun, right, to use one. What they're missing is this. They're sitting there saying all this stuff, but most of the guys, whether they want to admit it or not, it's not exactly easy to afford, right? That's the problem. That's where I made the video. When I made that video about this, it was about the fact that at 19 years old or 25 years old, I mean, I'm putting a timestamp on the fact that, like, I definitely couldn't have 19. I don't think I could have at 25 afforded the thing. And I'm not saying it's that expensive. I'm just saying it's one more thing that we have to buy for fishing. for me personally, I can afford it right now. I'm older in my career. I've been doing this a long time, right? I made the video because I went back and thought of myself when I was 19 or 20 or 25, 27, and thought about all like what I had to do. Back then, I could beat most fishermen. And what I mean by that is I could compete. How about that? I could go out and compete against another fisherman that was 20 years older than me that had a bunch of money. Because maybe back then all I had to do was flip a dock better than they did, right? Or cast a crankbait better than them, right? Or understand fishing a little bit better than those guys. I could outfish them. I could just outfish them. And it was my fishing ability against their fishing ability, right? In fishing tournaments. Now this can definitely, not only this, the graphs, a lot of things go into being able to beat someone in fishing, like fishing a tournament, okay? And a lot of this stuff cost more money. And so I look back at my 19 and 20-year-old self going, if I didn't have a lot of this stuff at times, I wouldn't have had a chance. And I think that's what these pros are sometimes missing is they have it. So yes, it's obviously, it's the haves and the have-nots. They have it. It's obviously fun, right? This bass boat is fun. It's awesome. There's some guys that can't afford a bass boat, right? I understand those guys. I was in their shoes forever. I can speak on this. I have no problem speaking on this. Everyone knows I didn't have the nicest boat. My first brand new boat was one I won. It wasn't one I bought. I won it in a tournament out of my old boat. And I had fishing partners that had boats. The problem is that it's not that this isn't fun. It's just it's sometimes not affordable for everyone. And that's okay. Like, look, there's going to be guys that can't afford things. But you have to be careful about excluding those people and just talking over them and not understanding that it's not that they might not like it. It's just that they can't afford it and can't use one. Okay? And so it is, you got to let them let their frustration out. And so when you talk about how awesome it is and how you're almost demeaning those people that can't afford one. And that's what I was trying to portray in my video. And I still hear people talk about it. And that's what some of these pros are missing because they're not thinking that way. They're just thinking, oh, everyone can get this. And everyone's got 6 graphs on their boat. That's not the case for most people. And there's going to be still people get on here and make comments about all kinds of dumb comments, right? About, I had people sit there, they obviously didn't even watch my video and they were like, oh, you're just a whiner that you can't afford one. I had one in the video. I actually said that guys don't listen to the whole video. That's the problem with most people. I have one, but I can still look at those guys and go, yeah, man, I understand it, that not everyone can. So I'm doing this video because, like I said, I'm walking around it and I just think about things like this, right? I remember listening to a video and at the time I was shaking my head going, he's missing it. This pro's talking about how fun it is and all these things and about, yeah, that's great. And it is fun. Like, this thing is a blast. It really is. But at 19, if that guy had been talking to me, I'd have been like, yeah, it would be fun if I could go afford it at 19, but I couldn't. And I'm trying to sit there and get in fishing tournaments. I'm trying to make it and all that stuff. And so, yeah, at the time I'm like, yeah, it's just one more thing I can't buy. And then when you go get beat by it, it's not that you don't want to learn it. It's not that you wouldn't go try to do all that. You just can't afford it. And that's where I think the disconnect is between people. Like I said, when we were younger, I just needed one rod, one reel, some line, and a worm, and I could go win a tournament, flipping docks and doing some things. And I mean, let's face it, those days are long gone. And so it felt, maybe I was wrong, but it felt like back in the day, I could just go fish against the pros and maybe beat them. And I think some guys are sitting there going, hey, I don't have a chance now. Like, like I don't think I can compete when certain guys have all this. And to me, that's understandable. I agree with them. I agree that there's days you can't. And that's the problem. Is this it's a testament to how good this thing is. It really is. They might not like it, and they might call it cheating. They might do a lot of different things. It's that good. And let me tell you something. I equate it a lot to like sight fishing. There's so many misunderstandings about sight fishing and pulling fish off beds and all this. I could go on and on and on. And I still get arguments, and it's still hilarious because it's people that don't really understand fishing that talk about that. But anyone I've ever taken sight fishing has absolutely loved it. Like it's a blast. It's so cool. It's so much fun. That's this thing. It is, right? I can do sight fishing for free. This thing costs some money. It's not a lot, but it does cost. So I think that's the issue. I'm telling you, I've taken some people out there and caught some crappie and something, and everyone fell in love with it. Like it's that. Like I've had people go out there and never thought they'd go buy one and went and bought one because it is that good. But some of those people can't. I'm just saying that's where I think the disconnect is. And I wish some of these pros would take that into consideration. Just take it in consideration, right? There's a whole nother argument too, whether they want to go old school, new. I'm not getting into that argument. I'm saying some guys just can't afford it, and it's frustrating. That's all it is. Okay. I'm out. It's my little... Hopefully this doesn't go crazy, viral, nuts, and people like misread it for what it is, you know? All right. Don't be the guy. Don't be the guy that gets on there and if you're the guy that's going to make the stupid comment, you know, try not to do it about the money deal, because you look like the guy who's like has money and has no empathy for some guys that are struggling. Just try not to be that guy, please. There's going to be guys on there, and those guys are, don't be that guy, please. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be one guy. There always is. Always going to be that one guy. Guaranteed. Can't help themselves.